a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. He live with the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, see more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. So take your fast car and keep on driving. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
Speak of me as you have always done. Remember the good times, the laughter and fun. Share the happy memories we've made. Do not let them wither or fade. I'll be with you in the summer's sun and when the winter's chill has come. I'll be the voice that whispers in the breeze. I'm peaceful now, put your mind at ease. I've rested my eyes and gone to sleep, but the memories we've shared are yours to keep. Sometimes our final days may be a test, but remember me when I was at my best. Although things may not be the same, don't be afraid to use my name. Let your sorrow last for just a while. Comfort each other and try to smile. I've lived a life filled with joy and fun. Live on now. Make me proud of what you'll become. We are here today to celebrate the life of Belinda Lee Walker, better known to you all as Flea. Under normal circumstances, in a normal world, this room would be overflowing with the many family and friends who have gathered to honour and pay tribute to Flea. As we know, these are not normal times, and while we are only permitted Flea's closest family and friends here in the chapel, we acknowledge the many family and friends who are watching and participating in this celebration of her life. This room is still overflowing with love and grief and sorrow at Flea's loss, and with gratitude for her life. The time will come again when we can all gather together and celebrate the life of Belinda Lee Walker, Flea, a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mother, and a good friend to many. Everyone here today will be feeling the enormous grief of dealing with the loss of this very much loved woman. Our deepest and our most heartfelt sympathies are extended to Flea's beloved husband Chris, her children Harvey, Dakota and Isabel, her parents Cheryl and Greg, sister Kylie and brother Matthew, and all of her much loved extended family. And I know that we carry them all in our hearts today. Flea's family would like to especially thank all of her many family and friends who, through phone calls and messages, have demonstrated to them how very much Flea was loved. She has, in her short life, touched many people, and I thank you on their behalf for your presence and your support at this celebration of Flea's life. There are no words of comfort or explanation that can ease the pain of losing Flea. While we accept that loss is a part of life, to lose those we love at a young age leaves us struggling with powerful emotions: sadness, grief, love, and frustration. All of these feelings are intense, painful, and very natural. Nothing, however, can change the love, happiness, and joy that you all shared with Flea. Nothing can come between your love for her and her love for you. The times that you shared with Flea can never be altered. They are forever sacred and secure in your hearts. And today we join together to celebrate that love. Flea would not want today to be formal and stuffy. She would want you all to share stories, cry a little, laugh a lot, and for you to know how much she loved you all and that her only regret was to leave you. I'd like to invite you all to come forward and each light a candle in remembrance. The lighting of the candle reminds us that Flea's memory will burn brightly in the hearts and the minds of those who love her. Could I ask you if you could come up in your family groupings, please?
You're not alone, together we stand. I'll be by your side, you know I'll take your hand. When it gets cold and it feels like the end, there's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. by my side, I will fight and defend. I'll fight and defend. Yeah, yeah. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Just stay strong, 'cause you know I'm here for you, I'm here for you. There's nothing you could say, nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Hear me when I say I believe nothing's gonna change destiny. Whatever's meant to be will work out perfectly. Yeah, 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 yeah. La-da-da-da, la-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da-da-da. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Just stay strong, 'cause you know I'm here for you, I'm here for you. There's nothing you could say, nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. There's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. And there's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through.
Flea's family have asked me to share with you all some of the stories of her life. From her parents, Cheryl and Greg. Belinda Lee Walker, better known as Flea, was born at 11:26 a.m. on the 3rd of May 1982 in Ballarat. For those who don't know where her nickname came from the day she was born, if you were not holding her, she would cry 20 hours a day. So her father said she was like a flea on a dog, and the name stuck forever after. She was very active as a toddler, walking at 9 months and trying to keep up with her older brother and sister. She attended preschool in Ballarat, absolutely loving it, before shifting to Shepparton, where she finished her preschool year. She then attended St George Road Primary School for 2 years before the family shifted to Wangaratta. She went to Wangaratta West Primary School, then on to Wangaratta High School for her secondary education. Her sporting life began in Shepparton with under-10 basketball. She developed into a very talented basketballer, playing for Lakers in club competition and Warriors in junior rep. And she also played for Victoria in under-12s and seniors. Flea was also a talented netballer, playing for the school, North Wangaratta and Greta clubs. She loved water and snow skiing, tried archery and dabbled in tennis, and she was also a basketball referee. After completing Year 12, Flea became a swimming instructor and a lifeguard. And when she didn't have shifts with these jobs, she worked at the Wangaratta Chronicle, putting fillers in the paper. So as we can see, Flea was always a very hard worker. Flea then got a permanent job at the Wangaratta Tavern, serving as a waitress, then progressing to learning all the jobs in the tavern, including gaming and operating the TAB. In 2014, Flea was diagnosed with breast cancer, which began her brave fight for the next 7 years. During this time, when she was able, she began driving taxis, operating the taxi base, and also worked serving meals to the elderly at St John's Retirement Village. Socially, Flea loved to party with close friends and family at home. She loved music, camping, and sitting around the fire. At the end of her life, she would lay in her bed and watch a campfire burning outside her window. In 2004, Flea married Craig Ryan. They were married for a year and a half, during which time Harvey was born. She found love again and married Chris Walker, and her 2 daughters, Dakota and Isabel, were born. Flea loved handbags, shoes, and she was obsessed with owning different cars. She was also a beautiful cook, but sadly all her recipes were in her head and not on paper. And from her sister Kylie. Kylie recalls the day she and Flea were fighting in the laundry over black nicks for netball. After hair pulling and pushing, the winner of the nicks walked away with Dad's jocks. No nicks, so that must have been an interesting game of netball when she got there. Now, sleeping was a major problem. Flea never liked to be on her own, and she would hop into Kylie's single bed. Kylie would take all the covers off, but Flea was stubborn and she would stay there without the blankets. She never gave up. From her dad, Greg. Her dad also recalls Flea was a problem sleeper. She didn't like being alone. When she was a teenager, she was not allowed in her parents' bed, but she would then take her single mattress and drag it down to their bedroom. Flea always seemed to be able to work out a solution to a problem. These are only some of the funny stories about Flea, which will be no doubt shared over the coming years. Flea was very much loved and respected by everyone who knew her. And from day one of her illness and for the next 7 years, her husband Chris stood beside her and showed her unwavering love, devotion, and he cared for her every single day until her death. And I've been asked to share some very special words from Flea's mum and dad, Cheryl and Greg, as their final tribute to their daughter. Our darling Flea, words cannot describe how honoured and proud we are to have you as our daughter. Your nature, your smile, your outlook on life touched everyone who knew you. Somehow, even during the toughest of days, you never complained. You faced everything with courage, bravery, dignity, with a smile on your face, and you were always more concerned for those around you. Although our hearts are broken, we will remember every day of our life with you and cherish all the wonderful memories we have. Goodbye, our darling Flea. Rest in peace until we meet again. Your adoring mum and dad. And I'm honoured to share a tribute from Flea's husband, Chris. Flea and I first met working at the Town and Country. The relationship was not exactly friendly to begin with. I was sent to change a pre-mixed soft drink cask on my 3rd or 4th shift and put a hole in the bag. So I had no spare hands and sticky syrup was flowing everywhere. A very smug Flea walks through the door, stands there for a second and states, "Looks like you've got a bit of a mess there," and walks off giggling. I was definitely not a fan. Due to mostly working weekends, we were both part of a few workmates who would catch up on Wednesday nights for dinner and drinks, which was our weekend. We settled our differences and became friends, with Flea teaching me how to use a computer, and a while later I put together home movies of her beloved son Harvey and her nephew Cooper. Flea and I never had any ambitions of being romantically involved, as Flea was in a relationship, and I was not interested in one after a few failed ones. Over time, I became more of a confidant and was there for Flea through her stressful breakup. Then one day, Flea curiously asked, "Why are you still single?" And jokingly, I replied with, "Because you haven't asked me out yet." About a week later, we had our first date at Pine Gully in the Warby Ranges, and we went bushwalking, and our relationship blossomed from there. A few years later, we welcomed a beautiful daughter, Dakota, and soon after, a second beautiful daughter, Isabel. Our love continued to grow stronger, and even more so when Flea was diagnosed with cancer. With every appointment, there was a new battle, but Flea never complained, and she did not let it mess with the normal life for the kids. Flea loved the outdoors, camping, picnics, collecting firewood, or just a bushwalk or drive, and these continued over the years. Flea hated gossiping, whether it be social media or real life. She had no time for people being fake, and those that weren't, she embraced and she became very close to. Flea loved nothing more than sitting around a fire with those she held close, having a sing-song, dance and a good laugh. Even when Flea's nightmare came true with the return of the cancer, she still kept things as normal as possible for her babies. Right up until the end, Flea kept us all in line and made sure we were okay. From the very beginning to the bitter end, Flea taught me so much, and she made me a better person. Her strength, courage, determination, stubbornness, and love was so inspirational, and I'm extremely honoured I was part of her life. And I'd like to read a very special message from Flea's much-loved children. The best memory that we share is the time that we spent together between our first hello and our last goodbye. You are the mother children dream of having. Everyone out there is jealous of us. I bet every child would want an angel sent from the heavens above to be their mother. Now you are back with the angels and will be remembered forever. With love from Harvey, Dakota, and Isabel. And I'd like to invite Wendy to share a reading she has chosen to pay tribute to Flea today.
A friend is someone we turn to when our spirits need a lift. A friend is someone we treasure, and our friendship is a gift. A friend is someone who fills our lives with beauty, joy, and grace. And you made this world we live in a better, brighter place. So feel no guilt in laughter. She knows how much we care. Feel no sorrow in a smile that she's not here to share. We shouldn't grieve forever. She wouldn't want us to. She'd hope that we can carry on the way we always do. So talk about the good times and the way you showed you cared. The days you spent together and all the happiness you shared. Let memories surround you. A word someone may say will suddenly recapture a time, an hour, a day that brings her back as clearly as though she were still here, and fills you with the feelings that she is always near. For if you keep these moments, you'll never be apart. And she will live forever, locked safe within your heart. We love you, Flea.
I'd like us all now to take a moment to reflect on Flea's life, and this will be followed by a photographic tribute that has been lovingly prepared by her family, in particular her son Harvey.
Listen, everyone, the time will come when all of us say goodbye. Feel that aching in your heart, leaving you broken inside. But we're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Make a right of this world while you can. Take the ones you love and hold them close, because there is little time. And don't let it break your heart. I know it feels hopeless sometimes, but they're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world
Thank you for creating that beautiful tribute to your mother. There was so much love. Flea, our love for you is not written on paper, for paper can be erased. Nor is it etched on stone, for stone can be broken. Our love for you is inscribed in our hearts, and there it shall remain forever. And I'd like to invite you all to join with me in the Lord's Prayer to acknowledge the comfort that these words can bring. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. On behalf of Flea's much-loved family and friends, I would like to thank you all for your support during Flea's illness and joining with them today. Her family has very much appreciated and been strengthened by the messages of love and support they have received from their many friends, and have asked me to pass on their immense gratitude for your love. They would also like to thank the Wangaratta District nurses, home nursing, palliative care nurses, the breast care nurses, and the Border Cancer Centre for their friendship, care and compassion as Flea so bravely fought her illness. Flea was a tremendously strong and brave woman, and she did not allow her illness to define her life. Nor was she ever bitter or unhappy with her lot. Flea has shown us it is possible to pack such an immense amount of living, love and memories into a short lifetime. And Flea was many things to many people. She was a daughter, a sister, a loving wife, and a very adoring and adored mother. Flea had an immense love for everyone, and she was all about the love that she had for her family and friends. Her family fought hard to give Flea her final wish, to spend her last few weeks at home with family and friends, and to die with the people she loved around her. Flea felt blessed that she had the opportunity to tell you all how much she loved you, and for you to do the same. It meant so much to her to know how much she was and will always be loved. She fought a good fight and tackled everything that was thrown at her head on. Grief is the last act of love we have to give to those we loved. And where there is deep grief, there was great love. And as we farewell Flea from the chapel, I'd like to share some very special words with Harvey, Dakota, and Isabel. Your mother is always with you. She is the whisper of the leaves as you walk down the street. She is the lingering scent of her favourite perfume. She's the cool hand on your brow when you're not well. Your mother lives inside your laughter. She's crystallised in every teardrop. She's the place you came from. She's your first home. She's the map you follow with every step you take. She's your first love, and she's your first heartbreak. And nothing on earth can separate you. Not time, not space, not even death will ever separate you from your mother. You carry her inside you. Could I ask you all please to stand?
Goodbye, 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 my love. I can't hide care of yourself. I have to go. I have to go. I have to go and leave you alone. But always know that I love you so. I love you so. Oh, I love you so. Oh, lullaby, distract me with your rhymes. Lullaby, lullaby, help me sleep tonight. Lullaby, lullaby. I have to go. I have to go. I have to go and leave you alone. But always know that I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. Oh, I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. Good